right, guys. So let's begin with review what we learned last time. I didn't show this history about Python last time, but I just quick go over that. It's good to know some history about programming language. So for the Python, it was developed in the 1990s, pretty early, and it's important to know that the Python 2 is the Python 2 released in 2020 and has been replaced by Python 3. So Python 2 is officially retired on the July 1st, 2020. So if you program something in the Python 3, it will now work in Python 2. So far we all have a Python 3 download. So if you see someone still use Python 2, you can tell them it's good to switch to Python 3. And the Python is an interpret high-level programming language. The interpret means the Python will compile line by line. So for other programming language, normally will compile whole thing. Then it will give you executable code, and you can run that code. But Python is compile them line by line. Just keep that in mind when we talk about function later. It's good to know to check those things. So it's high-level programming language, and it have very simple syntax, and is widely used in many places like machine learning, AI things, data science. They all use Python, and it's open source. You can actually find a lot of source code in the Python community. And as you can see, the Python have very simple syntax than other language. Here's how you print hello world in C++, and here's how you print hello world in Python. Very easy. And here's how you code from what you type in the editor to actually output on your screen. So you have editor, and you're writing a source code in a .py file, and when you click run, it will interpret each line to this bytecode, and through the Python virtual machine, it will give you output on your screen. Here's the flow of how the program works, like in the computer. And yeah, that's a history. So important things is just remember Python is interpret, and the interpret means compile line by line. So that's history. And last time we talked about data type and astronomic operator. First, let's talk about data type. There's 3 basic data types: int, float, and string. And if you open your IDLE, so if you open your IDLE and you type in type, you type in type, and the 6 is the thing you want to check what's the data type of this. And you press enter, it will give you integer. Integer, float, string. The integer is any number with odd decimal, and float point is the floating point numbers, is the numbers with decimal, and the string is everything in this quote. So what's data type of this? Anyone? but the data type of the 6 in the quote is a string or integer. Hello? Oh, I just keep going. It's a string because it's in the quote. Even it's 6, but because it's in the quote, so it's a string. And we have a data type of like 5.6 that gives us float point. So the data type is important, and there are some rules. Like a string can only works with string by this plus, and the string can only works with number by this times. I think that's the 2 things you can only use. So if you have hello, and you say plus another string, and it will combine these two into one string. And if you say hello, and you times them like 5 times, it will print hello 5 times and saving a string, give as a string. So that's data type. And for math, it's for atomic operator, it's just like our math, plus, subtract, times, and division. And the one thing important is this modular or remainder. So what this do is you use first number to divide the second number, and the result gonna be how much is left over. So if we have a 5 divided by 2, or sorry, modulo 2, and we will get 1 because 5 divided by 2 is 2, then it's left 1. We got 21 modulo 3 will give us 0 because 21 divided by 3 is 7, and there's nothing left over. So that's how this module works. And the most common way we use that is to check if the number is odd or even. So 3 is odd number, and we module this 2. So all the odd numbers module 2 will always give 1. So 7 module 2 is always 1. 9 module 2 is 1. And all the even number will give you 0. 6 module 2 is 0. 10 module 2, oops. 10 mod 2 is 0. So that's the time you check even and odd number. Then other thing is variable. The variable is imagine variable as a box, and you put the value in there. So when you set one variable equal to a value, then this variable have this value like in this right here, and you can use this variable anywhere in your program. So let's say we have let's actually program something. So if you go to your file and you click on this new file, and we'll give you a new file, then we can, then if you, so we can type in here. So let's say we have age equal to 6. So right here, age is our variable. It's say, and equal is the assignment operator, and you save this value 6 into this age, and at any time you use this age, it will actually say that as 6. So if you print age, so if we run this, we save this, as you can see, the data type here, not data type, the save type is tell you it's Python file. And if we save that, it's date 06. Its output is 6. So we save this value into this variable, and when we use this variable, it will actually to access the value in that variable. So if we talk a little bit deeper, this variable is actually, you can see that as the name of one of the memory location, and this value saved in that memory location. And when you use this variable, it go find that memory location and take the value in there and use that value. So we have an age, we can use that. So let's say my age is like 2 years old, older than yours. So I can have another variable. So right here I have my age, and it's 2 years old, older than yours. So let's say your age, and it's 2 greater than that. So and when we print that, and run this, you see when I print this my age, it give me 8 right here. Give me 8 because when this access this age, it used the value 6, and 6 plus 2 is 8, and save into my age. So any questions so far? No? Okay. So the other reason we use variable, let's say we have a, let's say so we want to add some number. Let's say we use 1 plus 5. We'll talk about this later. So that's a variable, and the variable is just something you can save the value, and you can use that anywhere in your code. And there are some rules about a variable. You can only include number, letters, and underscore. So if you go to this IDLE, so if we say name equal to something, it all works. But if you including some special character like $, name equal to Tom, it will give you syntax error. It will tell you it's invalid syntax because you have a special character. The underscore works if you have underscore name equal to Tom, and it will work, so it will not give you error. And as the first row, only include number, letters, and the underscore. And number works if you have num1 equal to 6, it works, and num2 equal to 8. So letter, number, that works. That's first row, and it cannot begin with number. So num2 works, but if I say 2num equal to 6, it will give me syntax error, and you can see this highlight this number. It cannot begin with number, and you cannot have space between them. So my name. Give me syntax error because I have a space right here. So if you would ask, then what's gonna happen if I have two words and I want to see the difference? And there are two ways. You can first use underscore, and well works. And other way is called Camel Case. Is to start from second word, the first letters in each word gonna be capital. So we do this. I would say hi. It works. It doesn't give me error. So there's no space in your variable and no special character, and cannot use keywords. The keywords such as for, while, if, else, those are keywords. Someone trying? Who is that? Oh, Arjun. Can you hear me? Arjun?
Yeah, hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, so you hear what I told, right? You hear what I teach? Hello? Can you hear me? Are you talking? I cannot hear you. Arjun, can you hear me? Nado, you can hear me, right? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So it's not my problem.
No, I think he probably has two devices. Yeah.
I have a good question. Should I wait for him to fix that, or?
I mean, you could just move on, I guess. He's his other device is connected.
Okay. So the variable. So on left hand, these are valid variable, all letters with number, and there's some underscore here, but it's just covering, right? And you can start with underscore or even all capital. And the invalid just only number, start with number with special character or space. So that's the valid and invalid. And here's the Camel, two way to style the variable, to name variable. And the first is underscore, second Camel Case, which is start. The first word lowercase and the subsequent words start with uppercase. And yeah, that's a variable. Any question? Oh, okay. Let's move on. Then we talk about if statement. So let's code that. So if statement, the syntax for if statement, you have if. So syntax for if statement, so you have if, then you check some conditions, then you do some statement, then we have else, and we do other statement. So that's a syntax for the if statement. And if we draw that, So this is if statement. If, then check some condition. Give example. Let's say if your age is greater than 21, same example. So if it's true, so you will give in some value age right here. Give some value age. If it's true, it says, and we print something. And if it's false, it print another thing. Then it's move on. So as you can see, there only one condition could happen. So either this one or this one. It's only one condition could happen, and that's depend on what this variable you compare with this 21. So if we program if age is greater than 21, and this colon is important, it's part of syntax. You have to have that, and we say print you are old to vote. Else, for the else part, you don't need any condition because either this one or this one, there's nothing else can happen. So you don't need to do another condition check. And we print you are too young to vote. So right here we check the age, and if the age is greater than 21, that means this condition is true. And when it's true, we will do this line. And else, which means this condition is false, and we will do this line. Right here, we have variable age, and we want input from user. So we use the function called input. There's no space between the T and this parenthesis. And in the parentheses, the question we're gonna ask, we ask, how old are you? So we got this age from user input. But the things you need to keep in mind is this input is always give you type of string. So let's print the type age. So we will show that here. You will see this will give you a string, and since this is string, this is integer, these two cannot compare to each other. So we need to convert this string into integer. We say int age to make this string into integer. Then this compares will work. So we save this, run this. If it's not defined in input, run this. This is so this asks how old are you? This asks you and waiting for your input. And this question is asked is actually the things you type in this parenthesis. And you have to have this double quote. And let's say 6. And as you can see, it will tell me this is string. So before I convert this into integer, it's actually the age, type of age is a string. So every time you use this input function, it will give you some string type. And if you want to compare string to an integer, you have to convert this string into integer. And if compare this to it's a 6 greater than 21, which is false, so it's run this line. We will print you are too young to vote right here. Any question? That's the if statement. So we have talked about if statement. Then right now we can talk about while loop. So while loop of so here's the syntax for while loop. So while, then some Boolean expression which you can see that as a condition. So you have a syntax while, then you check something, and if it's true, it will run the statement inside. So right here, here's the example. If we have a variable called choice, then we save the value y, which means yes, in here. Then in this while loop, it will check is your choice equal to y. As you can see, this one is double equal. So when you compare two things, you need to use double equal. And when you assign something, you give value to a variable, you use single equal. So if we'll check, is it equal, is this variable, the value in this variable is y, then it's yes, then it will print hello. Then you need to change this thing, you need to change this variable. So we get input, are we gonna print again? Then it will come back to this while loop and check again. So if we draw this thing in a flowchart, degrees of this. So if we draw this, we have a while. So first we got some, so we have a choice equal to y. And we come here, we check is the choice double equal y. And if it's true, it will run the code, run the following code. And as you can see, it have an indent here. So that means this part is in your while loop. And right here, first it will print hello, so it prints something. And second, it change this input. So we change this choice equal to input. And we add some question here. And after you change this, the while loop will go back to the top of this loop and check this condition. Check this condition right here. Check again. If it's true, it will do again. And if it false, it will exit. Then work on the following code. So if we copy this in our code, as you can see, its indent is 4 spaces. It's indent, that means these 2 lines is in your while loop. And if we do that, we run this, as you can see, first it print hello, because we set choice equal to y, and first check, okay, it's equal to y. So the value in choice is y. Then it's print hello, then we will ask again. And if we print y here again, we will print this hello again and ask you. And if we keep pressing y, we'll keep doing that until we press something else. Press N, then we'll print by, which is the thing outside the loop. So far so good. Okay. So for this while loop, it's important to initialize, check, and change. So if we don't have this change, if we comment out, it's fine. And we run, it will give me infinity loop. As you can see, it keep as you can see, it keep printing this because our choice never changed. So you need to make sure the variable you're checking is changing at the end of your while loop. So initialize, check, and change. That's a while loop. So Arjun, are you okay with those? Do you have any question? You can type in chat. I can see that in the chat. Arjun.
It looks like his computer's not working. That's fine. Just move on.
Okay. So, Avery, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
So let's review for you. So how you feel so far?
Good.
Okay. So where did we stop last time? Do you remember?
Let me pull up the code really quickly. We basically stopped where we are now.
Okay. So that's what we are. That's good. And I remember I gave you a homework. Did you try to do that? No, that's fine. A second, let me pull it out. So here we go. So last time, here's the homework I gave to you. That's if you didn't do that, that's fine. Let's come out of this. So last time is to find the biggest number in three numbers. So right here, I just want to show you can have a nested loop in your if statement. So in your if statement, you can have nested 8, which means you can have this if statement in this if statement. So so when we think about this question, you have three numbers and how you find the largest. First, you need to compare any of them. So we have a first one, let's say x, second one y, third one z. And you will compare the first two, x and y. Then if x is greater than y, then if that's true, you will go in here, then you will compare the x with another one. So we compare x with z. If x greater than z, that means x is greater than both y and z, and obviously x is largest. Then if not, then z is going to be the largest because x is greater than y and z is greater than x. That means z also greater than y, so z is largest number. So it's the same float in the false side, just you change the x to y. So if x greater than y, if x is not greater than y, then you will run the loop if statement in here, and you check is y greater than z. If y greater than z, if it's true, that means y greater than z and y greater than x, then y is largest. Otherwise, z is largest, which is z is greater than y here, and y is greater than x, so z is greater than both of them. Is that clear? So let's check is this program work. So we give three numbers. is 3, 4, and 5. And obviously 5 is going to be the largest. We press, so Z is the largest number, and it's 5. So the third one largest number is 5. And if we run again, we have a give random number. And tell me if 536 is largest, and this is second one, which is our Y. So yeah, this just show you the you can nest your if statement. You can have a if statement in your if statement, and also you can have another if statement in here. It's not very recommend, but if sometimes you have to do that, if that's the only way, then you can do that. So that's homework we talked about last time. Now back to the while loop. Did we talk about break and continue last time? Avery? Avery?
Yes. Hi.
Oh, did we talk about break and continue last time?
No, not really.
No? Okay. So break and continue. Again, draw a picture. Is this? So again, we have a while. So let's say if it's true, it will run some statement in here. Then let's say at some point you want to exit this while loop. So right here, we can use break to exit this entire while loop. So as soon as it sees a break, as soon as it sees this break, it will. Why should I clear? I think it's better to show that in the code. So we have code here. So it's very often that we use while true. So while true is will keep running. So instead of checking this condition, for example, here, instead of checking choices equal to Y, it will assume that we will run the things in this statement. It's always true. We will keep running the things in this statement. So we say while true, and then we do something range. Hello, and
Yeah.
as you can see, it will give me infinity loop because it's assume this condition is always true and keep running the things inside that. So it's kind of like a while loop without this change. So it doesn't change. So if we want this stop, the things we need to use is called break. So we use this break, and the break will bring you outside this while loop. So it will help you exit. So if we save this, run this, as you can see, it's only run one time. So as we talked at the beginning of this class, the Python is interpreter program, which means compile line by line. So what Python do is comes here, it check while true, and it will goes into this while loop, and Python say, okay, you want print hello, then print hello, then say the break, then just exit this while loop. That's what break do. And continue, it will bring you back to the top of this while loop. So let's give some example. some code we can use. So, stay honest. So here's a while true. Can you see this example? So we can use this one. To the while loop, and as you can see, it's a print hello and a continue, and continue will bring you back to the top of this while loop. So if we run this, we'll say keep printing hello. It doesn't print I, because at this point it will bring back to the top of true and print hello. So you can see it's keep printing hello. It doesn't print I, and Python, since Python's interpreter is compiled line by line, we check, okay, I want goes into the loop, I will print hello, then you want me continue, then I come back to the top of while loop, then it's true, then I print hello, so it's only print hello. So that's how continue works. So let's program something to use break and continue. So I will program here. So what this do? Can you look at this code and tell me what this code do? You have just give me some idea after you read this code.
It's going to ask what your name is. If the name is Jerry, it's going to continue, and then ask what the password is, and then if you type cat, then it's going to break the loop.
Well, break the loop. So let's say, okay, we come in here, and I type in Tom, then what gonna happen?
It's
So remember, the Python is compiled line by line, so let's check them line by line. So first, I input Tom, and the Tom save into this name. And right here is compare this Tom to Jerry. So Tom not equal Jerry. Is that true or false?
true.
It's true. Then which one will wrong?
Yeah.
Well, will this execute this continue?
No.
So when it's true, it will do the statement in this indent. So if I do this, that's probably okay. This is one if statement. It doesn't have else. So when this condition is true, it will run the code in this if statement. See this indent, so it will run this code. So if you type something not equal Jerry, it will continue. Then when this continue, the program will go.
Then it's going to ask what the password is.
So when you see, after you see the continue, where this gonna go? What's this gonna ask?
What is the password?
What continue to? So continue bring you back to the top of this while loop.
Okay.
So if you type something that's not equal Jerry, and we'll execute this continue, and we'll bring you back to the top of this while loop.
Oh,
So
okay.
then we'll ask again. Then we'll keep asking until you type Jerry. Right? Then it will ask for your password.
Okay.
And if your password, let's say if you type in dog right here, what's gonna happen?
It's going to.
So if you type in this dog, is this condition true or false?
False.
So when it's false, it will execute this one or will keep going?
It will execute the code.
Let's do this. Something not clear with this time. Okay. So let's say if we have else, then let's say we have something blah blah blah. So if this condition is true,
Yes.
if this condition is false, it will run this line or this line.
The else command.
The else command. Then if we don't have else, what is gonna do?
Then it's going to go back to the top.
Yes, it will come back to the top. It will ask for your name again, and if you type in Jerry, it will ask you this until you make both correct. Then we'll print something. I should print welcome.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So are you able to program this?
Yeah.
So let's go over that again, and you program that. So this is very simple login. You can see that as login system. So you will ask user to input the username and password. If the user type in the wrong username, then you will keep asking until it's typing the correct username. And if it pressed the wrong password, it will start over again until it give you the correct password. Then we'll print welcome. So
Okay.
let's go over again. So we have well true. First you will ask for the username. So what's your name or what's your username?
Mm-hmm.
Then we save this value in this variable, and we check is this the value that username is equal to the correct username. If it's correct, it will go here. If not, it will continue. So we'll come back to the top of loop and we'll keep asking for username. So for the password, we get ask user for password, and we save in this variable. And if password is double equal cat, you can set up your own password and username. And if it's right, it will break. So we'll activate this for loop and we'll run this code. We'll print welcome.
Okay.
So give you 5 minutes and try to code this thing.
Yep.
So try to code. We just talk about what we just talked about. So it's a user input to check the user's input for username and password, and if the first you will check username. If it's not correct, it will keep asking until you have a correct username. Then you will ask for password, and if they're both correct, it will break the loop. Make sense? Now try to program them yourself, and give you 5 minutes. Arjun, can you hear us? Oh. Fernando, he cannot hear us. You want to chat with him in the chat box?
You can't hear anyone? Let's see. Can you hear us now?
Okay. Yeah, the average is doing some. Can you hear us? Average, are you done?
Yes. Yeah.
Does it work?
Yeah.
Cool. So you want present and show what you got. Present your screen and let's see.
Yeah. How do I do this? Okay. Can you see this now?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this is my code. So if I run
Okay,
this,
then you run this.
wait, what?
The colon part of syntax that's very important. The colon.
Did I do that on that too? Okay.
If pause. Oh, okay.
Unexpected indent. What's my username? Everett.
So I see a couple of questions and go back to our code.
Yeah.
So first you're comparing the first line of your A statement. So A's name not equal to average.
Yeah.
So you compare the value in your name, which is string, to another string. So your average should in the quote or double quote.
Oh.
And same problem with the blue, yes. Yeah, then run that. And our drawing you can see and copy every code right now.
What's
the
my
code
password?
we were.
Blue. Wait, what?
Password name password is not defined. You didn't use Camel Case for W.
Ah, okay, this should finally work. I think. Maybe. I hope.
Your password is blue. Is there something missing?
It didn't print. Why?
Why that happened? So is your last line should in your while loop or no? So when this break, it will exit this while loop. So your print should not in your while loop.
Oh.
So your break is fine. Your break is fine. And there's no indent for your print.
Is that good?
Delete one more. And there's no indent. Yeah.
Okay. Blue. Yay, it worked.
So pretty good. Very nice. So let me present and you can start presenting. Good job. So first some problem we had before. When you compare string to string, if you want to compare string to string, you need to have this quote. But if you have another variable, let's say if you save this cat into another variable, let's say we have my equal to cat. Now, so as you can see right here, I save this string into this variable.
Jen?
And right here, I compare this. You talking to me? Yeah.
Oh. Okay, silly.
So right here, I save this
Really.
string into this variable, and right here I compare it to variable, which is actually compare the value in these two variables. And so if you want directly compare to a string, you need to have this double quote. If you want compare to a variable, you don't need to have a quote. Is that clear? Okay, then the next one is print. So print will come. So the first time you have like this, and your print is actually in this if statement. As you can see, there are one indent here, which means all these codes are in this if statement. So so after you have a correct the right password, it will break. So anything in this while loop, anything after this break will not be executed. And then the first time you fix that, you delete one indent. Then you delete one indent, but again, after this break, it will break this whole loop. So everything after this break will not execute. And as you can see, it has same indent. That means this print is still in the loop, in this while loop. So the correct way to fix that is there's no indent at the beginning, and you can see this are lined. And so after this break exists this while loop, it will print the following code. So that's a while loop, and continue and break. The break will exit the while loop, and continue will bring you to the start of the loop. So break, stop the loop, continue, bring back to the start of the loop. Any questions so far? Arjun, do you have any question? You can, if you can talk. Arjun, if you have any question, you can type in the chat, and if you can talk, then just type in the chat. Right? So after that, we will talk about for loop. So a while loop is sometimes you use when you don't know how many times it will run this code. So as this example, you don't know how many times the user will enter this. You don't know how many times the user will enter their username or their password. So it's in the while loop. A for loop is you know how many times you want to run that. So we have let's say for I in range 6. Int I. So here's the for loop. As you can see, it's printing from 0 to 5. And that's for loop. So if we back here, so we have a for, and we have an integer in the range function. So this range is actually a function that's so when here's the syntax. When we do this, we have for, then we give any variable, then we use the function range, and you give the number of how many times you want this run. Let's say if you run 5 times or 5 times, you type in 5. If you run 6 times, you type in 6. As you can see here, it is 6 times, but it's actually from 0 to 5. So this range function will start from 0 until this number -1 because you start from 0. So if I have range to 9, how many numbers will be print? Anyone can answer that? If I do this, how many numbers will be printed out? Everett, or try? There.
Yes, we're alive.
So if I do for I in range 9, then print I, how many numbers will be printed out?
9.
Okay, and what are those numbers?
I.
I is actually the variable. You can call this anything like for number in range 9, then we print number.
Oh.
And let's run this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It print 9 numbers, and it starts from 0 to the number you gave -1. So it have 9. So we say range 9. So it's from 0 to 8. 9 -1.
Okay.
And that's for loop. And for this range function, it can take 2 and 3. It can take 3 parameters, and the first one is going to be where you start, and the second one is where you end, and the third one is how long the step. So if we want print from 10 to 20, so if I want print 10 to 20, what's the number I should type in here?
10.
10 and
3.
No, 10 to 20.
Oh, 15. Or
So we want print the number from 10 to 20, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, until 20, right?
okay.
And if we run this thing, as you can see, it prints from 10 to 20. So it increases 1 each time. By default, it increases 1, and so right here is where you start. The second one is where you end. And it's including the where you start, which you can see is including 10, but it not include where you stop. So it's not include 21. So we'll stop at 20. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how about from 10 to 16? Or no, from 15 to 25.
Then you
What's
would
the number?
do 15 to 26.
To 26. That's right.
Yay.
Right. And as you can see, we have a third. We can type in the third number, which is the step. So if we do that, so So from 15 to 26, and the step is 2, which means every time it will plus 2 until 26. So if we run this, 15 plus 2, 17 plus 2 plus 2 is 21 plus 2, 20 until 25. 25 plus 2 is 27. It's over 26. So we'll stop right here.
Okay.
So if we have 14, will this print 26?
No.
No. And why?
Because it'll only go to 25.
Yes, that's true. And you can see the largest it goes is 24. And step is 2. And just keep in mind, all this number should be integer. It doesn't take float point number. So if you say took every like a half, 0.5, if you run that, it doesn't work. The float point it doesn't take float point. It have to be integer.
Okay.
And if we do 7, so from 14 plus 7, 21 plus 7, out of rate. So that's for loop, that's for range. And so you can see this line syntax. And normally, most of the time, we use only 2 to count. Let's say if we want something to 5 times, so we say range 5. And right here, we don't print out this number, we just say hello. As you can see, it will print out hello 5 times. So what this do is actually, so if I do this, as you can see, so the program will do here for number in range 5. So first number will be 0, then it's print hello. Then it will increasing 1. So it will be 1, then print hello again, then increasing again. So it will become 2, print hello, until it's 4, which is total 5 times. And it's print hello 5 times, and it will exit this loop. So if we print end here, as you can see, these are indents. That means this is in the for loop. This 2 line is actually in the loop. This one doesn't have indent, is not in the loop. So as you can see, it print 5 times, then it prints end because it's out of this for loop. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I print out those numbers, just want to show you that if you want something, if you want the things in the loop do how many times, then you just need to use for loop. You want this to 5 times, you use for. And this is just variable. You can call this anything. You can call this I. For I in this range 5, that means you want the statement in your loop to 5 times. Then we print this. Then when it's finished, then we print end. So that's for loop. That's for loop. We talk about that. So you can program while I'm showing that, so you have something you can understand while you're doing that. So another thing is how to get random number. So to get random number, we will use function random int, and if we want to do that, we need to import this random module. So how we do that? So first of all, we import random. So then right here we print some random rand int. Then as you can see, it's giving me something. So we want random number from 1 to 100, and it's gonna work. PORT. 1 to 1 is too big. So first we import random. So in order to get random integer, we need to use the function from other module. So first we need to import that module. So we import this module called random. Then if we want to get random integer, we first say, okay, I want to get this from this random. Then we use this doll to call this doll will call the function in this module. So we'll use call the random int, and the number you want to get, so from 1 to 10, is not including 10, so it's actually 1 to 9. If 1 to 10, we need to get 1 to 11, and will give me a random number 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's actually including this. Okay, so it will include in the last one if you get random int. So from 1 to 10, give you random number, and as you can see, every time you run that, it's different 5 numbers. That's how you get random number. So now we know how to do random number. We know how to do a for loop. Let's wrote a program. So the program is called get number. So the program will give you a random number. Then the user has 5 times to guess that. If the user's guess number is bigger than the random number, the system will say the number you guess is too big. Otherwise, it will say your number is going to be too small. If it's a number it 1, then it will say, okay, you got the correct number, and it will break out of the loop. So you hear the prompt. Do you have any idea how to do that? So again, the question is it's a guess number program. It's a guess number name. First, system will give you a random number. Then the user has 5 times to guess this number. And if it's bigger, the program will output the number you guess is bigger than the random number. Then if it's smaller, we'll say the number you guess is smaller than the random number. And if it's a number, if it is the random number, it will say, okay, you get the correct number, the right number. So any idea how to begin that? So right now you need to write this program. What you gonna do first? Any idea? Avery? Well, start it. So what we gonna do? How we start this program? Are you talking? I'm not. I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you. Can I go over? Yeah. Okay. So Arjun, do you have any question? Is that too fast, too much? Have any questions? You feel good or?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you right now.
Oh, great.
You can draw the flow chart. Tell me what you're gonna do first. So you heard the question, right? It's a guess number game, and you will get a random number from system, and the user has 5 times to guess this number.
Oh, yeah.
And we talk about random, so that's how you get a random number from system. And we talk about for loop. That's how you specify that you have 5 times guess a number, and this number between 1 to 50.
Okay.
So let's draw the flow chart first. So tell me what you're gonna do first.
Probably create the code that chooses the number.
Yeah. So we let system choose a number, which is we will use the random, which is we will use random to get a random integer. So I would guess now equal to random it's random dot rand int, and from 1 to 50. Okay. And what next?
We find the code that lets us choose the number, then tell us whether it's right or wrong. Then just go then continue, and then go back up to the top.
So for for loop, yeah, I guess so. So we got a random number, and we want user only guess 5 times, and that's the time we use for loop. So right here we have a for loop, and it will for I in range, and it's 5 times. Then what the number should I put in here? If it run 5 times,
Then we make a game over thing. Just print game over.
yeah. So if still in range, we do something. If it's not, then we will have something game over. Okay. So we're in the loop. First time we will get user input, and we will get input, right? Then after that, after user gets input, we will check if the input, that's if statement. So if the user input is greater than guess number, if that's true, we will say the number you guess, the number you guess. We will print that. We will print the number you guess is larger than the guess number, and else if. So right here is going to be else if. So else if the user input is less than guess number, and we will say the number, and we will say the number you print the use is greater than, is less than the guess number. Otherwise, we will say you get right, then we'll print you guess the right number. And right here, I think we can break. And if we break, it will go back. If not, it will go to the range again. So that's basically the flow of this code. So you can work on that. Do you want to work on that by yourself for a while, or you want me to show that? It's actually a number right here. So here's how we can. Do you want to work on this by yourself for a while, or you want me to talk about this? Everett?
Oh no.
So let me check it's gonna work. It is fine. Okay. So it's basically following our process. So right here, here's the flowchart we draw. It looks good, but you can see that. So first we get the number from system, random number, random int, and this number from 1 to 100. And right here we have for loop to give user 5 times to run this code. And right here we say guess the number, and we get input from user, leaving here as a number is the user guess. Then we in this if statement, if the number they guess is smaller than the number, the random number, then we say smaller. Else if it's greater, then we say it's larger. And else there's only one thing left, which is we guess the right number. So we print the number user guess is the correct number. And as you can see, it converts it into integer because the random number we got from system is integer. So in order to compare these two, you need to convert this guess into integer, same as this one. And for this one, we're fast to string, so we don't need to convert this into integer. String can, with this plus string, this Python will combine these two strings into one thing. And if the user gets the right number, it will break, even if not 5 times. But as soon as it's 5 times, it will end the program. So, are you able to program that? Oh, Fernando, when will this class stop?
At 4:40, 4:50. So 5 more minutes.
Okay, so you can try this yourself. I think you can take a picture or a screenshot and can try this and check it what's different. And let's review what we talk about today. So beginning is just review, and we talk about the break and continue. Break will stop the loop, so it will immediately exit the code, exit the while loop. And where is the while loop? It's the like one indent in this while loop. So as you can see, there's no indents for this while, and as soon as this while loop begins, it start have indent until it's exit. So there's no indents for the following code. And let's break continue will bring you back to the top of while loop. It will bring you back to here. And then we talk about the for loop. So for int, this int could be any variable. So I can say for number or age or for anything, any variable in this range function. And the range function can take three parameters, three arguments. So it's where they start, where they end, and what the step is. So if I want from the range 10 to 15, I will say the range, this one will be 10. And if I want to include 15, then I will type 16 because it's not including the end one. If I do not want including 15, then it will be 15. So just remember the end is not including the end, and it's initialized. So initialize start from 0, and yeah, that's a range function. And then we talk about random. So for the random, first of all, you need to import this random. So you will import this module so you can use the function in this module. And in order to get integer, we first type in this module's name, then we have this dot, and we type in the function we want to call, which is random int. And in there, we can type what the range we want is from 1 to 100 or 50 to 100, or any range you want. And in this function, it will include both numbers. And yeah, that's all we talk about today. Any question before we end today? No. Okay.
Shocking. All right. Thank you guys for coming. So that's it for today. We'll hopefully see you guys next week. Okay. So take care, and we'll see you guys.